Yo, what's up, guys? It looks like the time is finally coming. It looks like the Chicago Bulls are going to finally fire Jim Boylen. You know, it's kind of been bound for like weeks and months, I'd say. It's just more of a waiting game right now because our new front office pretty much said they want to meet everyone first, and of course they can't travel to Chicago with all this crazy stuff going around. So once the NBA season resumes or gets canceled, who knows what happens still, our front office is going to meet with Jim Boylen and hopefully the rest of the coaching staff and medical staff and player development. And they're going to give them a fair chance and then probably most likely fire all of them because we need change in every aspect of our organization. But it's kind of common sense, you know, we brought in a whole new front office pretty much. Of course, they're going to want to change things up. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some big trades this offseason or some crazy draft picks, you know, free agent signings. Who knows? We got a complete new front office in charge. So I kind of knew this was happening. But like I said, it's more just a waiting game. But Jim Boylen is 100% going to get fired whenever the NBA season comes back or whenever. And a lot of rumors came out yesterday about several key Bulls players making Jim Boylen's future as the head coach very cloudy. There was reports from the Chicago Sun-Times and Bleacher Report saying that a lot of key Bulls players were ripping into Jim Boylen. You know, of course they didn't say any names, but of course our new, front office wanted to meet our current players and roster. So I'm sure they FaceTimed them or Zoom called them just for them to talk about, our team, the organization, the head coach. Because even if you aren't a Bulls fan, even say you're just a fan of the NBA, you definitely see all the drama going around this season with Jim Boylen. You can obviously tell Zach LaVine didn't like Boylen. I mean, Boylen benched him that one game, and Zach was just taking shots at him the whole game after. And then the next game, Zach put up 49 points and pretty much carried us to a crazy win against the Hornets. There's also many videos saying that Zach LaVine was cussing at Jim Boylen and stuff. Just the whole relationship has been a mess. And if you want to be a good team in the NBA, your best player and head coach cannot bash heads. There was also a lot of shots taken at Jim Boylen from Lauri Markkanen this season, and I don't blame him. I don't like Jim Boylen. He needs to get fired. We need to complete this whole new front office overhaul. We need a new coach to help our players develop. As Jim Boylen says, that was his main goal, to help us develop and get into the playoffs. And Jim Boylen did a terrible job at that. He treated our players like it was a middle school. There was a lot of rumors about the Bulls just doing stupid drills, and they didn't trust Jim Boylen. They didn't like Jim Boylen, and I don't blame them. I do believe the key players that ripped into him is Zach LaVine, like I said, and Lauri Markkanen. Lauri Markkanen also took a lot of shots at him this season because he just didn't like the way the offense was going, and obviously it wasn't working because we weren't winning games. I mean, I'd say Lauri Markkanen is probably one of our top 3 players. I mean, he's super talented. He has a bunch of potential. Just Jim Boylen pretty much turned him into a spot-up 3-point shooter, and Lauri Markkanen's game can, expand into way more than that. Lauri Markkanen regressed bad this year. You could blame it on injuries, you could blame it on Jim Boylen, but either way, it was just a mess. It was a terrible season for us. Jim Boylen didn't help our roster, and of course the injuries didn't help our roster as well. So like I said, it's just a waiting game. Whenever the season comes back, or whenever Adam Silver, cancels the season, Jim Boylen is most likely going to get fired. I mean, if I was a new front office or GM, coming to a whole new team, and all the players are ripping on the head coach, why would you keep him, man? I saw the owners of the Bulls and John Paxton are pushing to keep Jim Boylen, but I just don't understand why. See, man, it just pisses me off. Why is John Paxton, why is he still here? He's pretty much in an advisory role. He's doing nothing. He's pushing for Jim Boylen to stay when he knows Jim Boylen has been a terrible coach for us. He has done nothing to help our players. He's had Markkanen regress. He has been butting heads with LaVine. Why keep him? And that's why I just don't understand why the Bulls are keeping John Paxton. It's just annoying, man. And the second part of today's video is going to be a mailbag. I love doing these, so keep the questions and everything coming, guys. And the first question in today's mailbag is Doug Collins still a senior advisor for the Bulls? Yeah, he is. him and John Paxson are pretty much just behind the scenes getting paid to do not really much. So I really don't understand why we hired, Doug Collins. I mean, he was a good coach. He's probably a better coach than our current coach, Jim Boylen, right now. But at the same time, I just don't understand why we have Doug Collins and John Paxson just sitting there doing really not much. And the next question in the mailbag is, please do a face reveal in tomorrow's video. I've gotten that question here and there, not too much, but if you guys do want me to, do a face reveal sometime soon, maybe, I want to see a bunch of comments saying it. Maybe I'll do a face reveal at like 10K, I want it to be special. And he also says, and what do you do for a living other than YouTube? I work in a retail store right now. I'm pretty much laid off. I don't get that many hours. And that's just crazy to me with all this crazy stuff going around. But, anytime I do work, I wear my gloves, I wear my mask. I try to be safe. I'm trying to get a new job. But yeah, YouTube's a good, side job. I really enjoy doing it. And I'm really happy you guys enjoy watching my content. And the final two questions in today's mailbag is, do you think Zach LaVine is going to play for Chicago next year? I 100% do. But it wouldn't surprise me if, Arturis did trade him, because Zach's, value right now is at an all-time high. He's been playing amazing these past 2 seasons. He should have been an all-star last year. And like I've said in many of my past videos, a whole new, leader coming to a whole team. He didn't draft or sign any of the players. So it wouldn't surprise me if we did trade him, but at the same time, Zach LaVine has gotten better every year. He's on a really affordable contract. I don't see us trading him. And if we did, I'd be really upset. I like Zach LaVine. He works hard every offseason. He's a star in this league, and hopefully his game can just continue to expand, and hopefully he'll continue to, improve and lead us into the playoffs next year. And the next question is, do you think Derrick Rose is coming home? I do at some point. I don't know when. I do wish we signed Derrick Rose, last offseason instead of Tomas Satoransky. Rose would have helped us a lot more off the bench or starting. He's still a walking bucket. He can get a bucket anytime he wants in this league. Nobody can stop that man. He's still super explosive, super fast. He just needs to rest a few games, which kind of sucks, but hey, I'd take, resting Derrick Rose a few games to have him, ball out in the playoffs if we ever got there. Hopefully we sign him next year, because Derrick Rose has talked about returning to Chicago one day. All the formal Bulls players always talk high about Chicago and always want to come back and play. Derrick Rose wants to come back. AD has talked about it and hinted at it. Jimmy Butler said he would love to come back. So I think it's just a matter of time before Derrick Rose comes home, and I'm just super excited. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video today. Make sure you guys continue to leave any questions or comments you got below. Also, go watch my last video and go into my community tab and vote who you guys want the Bulls to sign as their head coach. Thank you guys for watching this video. Have a good one.